Hi everybody, I'm Teacher Mary. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you guys this week. For those of you who have been joining us, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Teacher Mary. Welcome. I'm so excited. So for the past few weeks, we've been going over small mini lessons. We've been talking about different things. I've been reading your comments, and I have been making small lessons based on what you guys have been telling me you want to learn. So if there's something you want to learn, please leave me a comment, and I will try and make sure that we can do that. So last week, we talked about the alphabet, letters A through M, and we talked a little bit about why it's important to learn the alphabet. So hi Eugenio, thanks for joining us. Hi Guillermo, thanks for joining us as well. And Johanna, thank you for joining us. I'm excited that you guys are here. Hello Juan Carlos. So the reason why the alphabet is so important is because a lot of our pronunciation comes from knowing the different sounds English makes, because we know that English makes different sounds than Spanish. And we also know that the lettering and how we read in English can be very different. So last week, as we talked about the different letters and how they're different. Maybe some of you remember the letter G, the hard G, the G sound, versus the soft G, the J sound. So today we'll be talking about the letters N through Z. So hi Hector, hi Ana Paula, thanks for joining us. Hello Alejandro. And Dominica, hi, you're from Ecuador, welcome. So as we're going through the alphabet, I would love for you guys to give me some other words that you can think of that has the letters that we're talking about. So let's take a look. Our first letter we're talking about is N. And as you can see here, the way we say this letter is N. And we pronounce it just like you do in Spanish, the N sound. So I have November, no, and now. In English, we also have the letter combination KN. You'll see this quite commonly, and the K is silent and it's pronounced just like N. So we have no, knife, and night. Can anybody tell me how to say night in Spanish? How would you say night in Spanish? So hi Noeli, you're from Peru. Thanks for joining us. Hello Javier. Can anybody tell me how to say night in Spanish? Estoy preguntando cómo se dice la palabra night en español. ¿Cómo se dice la palabra night? So Alfred, you're saying noche. You're almost correct, because if we didn't have the K, if this was gone, that kind of night would be noche. Entonces, si la palabra no tenía la letra K, eso será noche. Pero aquí tenemos KN, y el K is silent. So how would we say that? So yes, caballero would be one of the ways that we would say night. Thank you, everybody. Very good. Let's take a look at the letter O. The letter O. So in English, there's always at least two ways that we pronounce the letter O. We always have the short vowel sound and the long vowel sound. And the long vowel sound, the way we remember that is that it's always pronounced the same way you say the letter. So this is the letter O, and the sound is O, like note, note. Por ejemplo, apuntes. The short O is a, not, and note, a, o. The next one we have is P, and you pronounce the P just like you do in Spanish. P, p. The two lips together. P. So we have part, participate, and perfect. But when we have the letter combination of PH together, that is going to make the same sound as F, like telephone and alphabet. And just like in Spanish, we also have the silent P for the words that come from Latin: pneumonia, psychology, and pterodactyl. The next letter we have here is Q, Q. And we also have two pronunciations for the letter Q. First one is qua, qua. And in English, you will almost always find Q with the letter U as well. So quality, question, quiet, and earthquake. We can also pronounce the letter Q like the letter K. K, k. Technique and conquer. So here's a difficult one, I think, is the letter R. The letter R. The way we pronounce the letter R is R, R. So what you're going to do is you're going to put like an O sound with your mouth, and you're going to make the noise R, R. So we have radiant, reality, and receive. R, R. So Rodrigo, you're asking me what does conquer mean in Spanish? Conquer is conquistar, conquistar. And conquistador would be a conqueror, conqueror. So Marcelo, yes, a conquistador is a conqueror. And Javier, what is conquer? Is conquistar. So next we have the letter S. So just like in Spanish, you're going to say it the same way, the S sound. At the beginning of a word, it's the salad, start, and salt. Another way in English we have it is with the double S, and this is pronounced the same way, like progress, progress, and business. But we also sometimes pronounce the letter S like Z, Z, like boxes, boys, cousin, and husband. How do you say cousin in Spanish? ¿Cómo se dice cousin en español? So you'll notice here in this word, we have both pronunciations, business, business. Entonces, ¿cómo se dice cousin en español? So Ruben, yeah, good job, it's primo. So cousin can be primo or prima. Very nice, good job, guys. All right, our next letter is the letter T, T. So just like in Spanish, it makes the t sound, like table, telescope, and telephone. We also have the letter combination TH, TH. Entonces, para las personas que conocen el acento de España, muchas veces en España tiene la letra C o la letra Z y se pronuncia como cerveza, una cerveza, por ejemplo. Y es igual. This voiceless TH se pronuncia así. Three, thing, teeth, and mouth. Mouth. This is what we call the voiceless TH, and that's because there's no sound in the throat. We also have the voiced TH, and it's the same way, but there is a sound in the throat. So the, weather, and mother. The, weather, and mother. Listen to the difference. And and that's the difference there. The next one we have is the letter U. This is a vowel, and like we talked about before, we always have at least 2 sounds with vowels. And here we have the short U, like cub and cut. It makes the sound, So cub is osito, cut is cortar. Then we have the long U sound, which is U, like cube and cute. Next we have the letter V, which in English is v. I know in Spanish sometimes the letter B as in boy and the letter V as in very can be sometimes used the same way, but in English they are very, very different. So here the letter V is made with the teeth against the lip, the V sound. So we have very, various, and revive. The next one we have is the W. Now the W does not exist in Spanish. The only way the W exists is for words that are borrowed into Spanish. The best way that I can describe the W sound in Spanish is the U with an umlaut. So, el U con diéresis. Por ejemplo, pingüino, pingüino. The U, pingüino. So we have water, website, wine, and world. So who can translate the word world for me in Spanish? ¿Cómo se dice world en español? So one of the best ways that I could try to explain how it sounds is the U and the A sound together in Spanish. Water, website, wine. So Andrea, great job. You're the first one. It's mundo. Very good. Next, we have the letter X. There's also 2 pronunciations with the letter X in English. So for the first one we have is the X sound, just like in Spanish. X, extra, box, and maximum. But we also pronounce the letter X like a Z sometimes. For example, xylophone. So here is a perfect example. Xerox. It's got both. Xerox. Can anybody think of any other words in English that starts with the letter X? I'm curious to see what you guys can think of. Next, we have the letter Y, the letter Y. So Maria Isabel, you're saying excellent way to teach. Thank you. That's a very good way of showing the letter X. And Jorge, you're saying auxiliary. Very good. That's a good one. And Christian, Xerox. Xerox is a brand that makes photocopies, but in English, it has become so common that we use Xerox as a verb, que podemos usar Xerox como un verbo, que significa hacer copias. I'm going to Xerox this paper. So Marco, you're asking me to read this. The worst word in the wide world is war. That's a good tongue twister. So, one of the things that we learn when we are talking about letters in English are the vowels. We always say the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and then we say, and sometimes Y. And as you can see from here, Y, we sometimes call the letter Y a vowel. So the first pronunciation is just like in Spanish, the Y or the double L, y, yellow, and yoga. The next pronunciation is the long E sound, which is E, like happy and merry. That's the best one. The next one we have is the long I sound, which is I, like cry and fly. And Manuel, you're saying why. That's also a good one. And finally, we have the short I sound, which is I, like gym, myth, and system. And the last one that we have is the letter Z, and it's very similar to how you guys pronounce the letter Z in Spanish in Latin America. The Z sound, zebra, zoo, zigzag, and buzz. Great. So guys, do you have any questions for me when it comes to pronunciation? Can you give me some examples of English words that use the letters that we talked about today? So Sheko, you're saying 0. Great example. Very, very good. Christian, you're asking what myth is. Yes, a myth is like como una leyenda. Sí, una leyenda. Hi, Darwin. My name is Mary. What other questions do you guys have? Or do you have any examples of some nice examples of words from the letters N through Z? Hi, Graciela. You're saying hi from Uruguay. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So Nelson, you're asking, what does buzz mean? Buzz. The word buzz is a sound that can be made. For example, if you think of an insect that's flying around, we say the fly buzzes around. Or if you have a piece of machinery that's making a noise, you can say it is buzzing. So Segundo, you're asking where I am. I'm talking to you guys from sunny Miami. So welcome. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Some examples? Let's pick one here. Let's look at the letter V. The letter V. Can you guys give me some examples of some words with the letter V? So Jorge, you're talking about the word dog, that it can be tricky to pronounce. Yes, it can be sometimes. That's because you're comparing it from dog and duck. That's because of where it's made in the if it's a voiced or voiceless ending. So dog versus duck. Marco, you're saying sunny is soledad? Yes. And Sheko, you're saying turtle. That's a good example. Matissimo, yes, thank you. A word that starts with the letter V is viral. And Javier, you have live, also a good one. Rodrigo, you're saying voice. And Christian, the word environment. Environment. And Olivia, you have voice. Good. All right, let's pick one more. All right. So Raphael, you got sunny. Very nice. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to see you next week. Please, leave me some comments. Let me know of some other words. I'll take a look at them. And if there's anything in particular you want to review next week.